Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic. I'm Mike Lilgy here for BCSN as we get ready to bring you the opening of the all-new KINZEL Center. It should be a lot of fun. Basketball game tonight against New Regal. We'll also get a chance to talk with some of the alumni and some of the notable employees here around the school as we get ready to bring you what's new here and happening at St. Mary's Central Catholic. All kinds of activities set up, a great party, and stick with us here on BCSN. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. We're here for the dedication of the KINZEL Center and a great night of activities planned out at halftime. They're going to be honoring all the state champions from St. Mary's Central Catholic who can make it back, and one of them we're able to talk with here, Brian Roth, member of the 1980 state championship basketball team. And first thing I notice when I walk in, you go down the hallway that they have set up for kind of the Walk of Fame. Your basketball game for when you guys won that state title in 1980 has been playing on a continuous loop. What's that kind of like to still have that legacy in the school like that?
Yeah, it's, seeing it again, the 36 years don't seem quite like 36 years. And being able to get together with some of the guys tonight and being in, the gym that a lot of it happened, just brings back a lot of memories.
Well, you mentioned the gym, and the gym has gone undertaken quite a facelift. Not the den that you remember, but it's a beautiful new facility for sure.
Yes, when I walked in, I had to kind of do a double take, but they did a great job on it. Looks, a lot different, but I think it's, a sign of the times. So.
And what are some of your favorite memories from that season where you guys went undefeated and won the state championship?
A couple things. One, it was nice. I actually got to share that with my brother. My brother Alan was a sophomore at the time. But then just the team itself. I look back and I followed basketball. We really, truly were a team, and I think that's why we won. And to be able to get together with some of the guys, that's what makes it special, that we've kept that connection over the years.
Well, we don't want to hold you up too long. We know that it's still a good night of fun ahead, but we want to thank you for spending some time with us, and that's a member of the 1980 state championship basketball team here at St. Mary's Central Catholic, Brian Roth. Welcome to St. Mary's Central Catholic High School as we get ready for the dedication of the KINZEL Center, and the school has set up a great list of events here, and one of the cool things they're doing at halftime of the varsity basketball game tonight, they're going to get together all the state champions from the high school who could make it back, and able to have a chance to talk with one of them now, a member of the 1980 state championship basketball team, Marty Senish. And back in your days here at St. Mary's Central Catholic, you spent a lot of hours in the den, practice, playing. What were your first thoughts when you walk in tonight and see how it looks today?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I actually haven't gotten in there yet. I mean, it was always my favorite gym in the area as it was, and from what I hear from everybody, it's just phenomenal, the changes that they have. So looking forward to seeing it.
Well, you obviously played and graduated from St. Mary. You came back, you've coached here at St. Mary as well. What's that connection for you that keeps you coming back?
Just the experience we had. I mean, just went to school with a great group of guys. It was a great time at St. Mary's back then, and you just always feel that connection. And I think with our team winning the state championship, you're just always going to feel that connection with the school.
Well, it was an undefeated season. It ends in a state championship, kind of that fairy tale season. What were some of your favorite moments?
I think one of the things we always wanted to do, and we didn't quite get there our junior year, was get to regionals. And the cool thing was we got to stay overnight. Yeah, I think we got to stay for the whole weekend. We just had never done that before, so that was a big deal. It was almost like a bigger deal winning the district title that year than it was winning the regionals and going to state. But yeah, that's one of the ones I remember. And obviously the state final game, the way that went down, we were kind of down and out, down 6 with like 2.5 minutes to go. Came back and tied it and won it in overtime and played against the best player in the state that year. So it was a neat experience.
Well, we want to thank you for spending a couple minutes with us. That's Marty Senish, member of the 1980 state championship basketball team here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. Welcome to St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. Tonight's the big night. They're going to dedicate the KINZEL Center, and we'll all get a look at the remodeled den as well. And cool thing they're doing at halftime tonight of the varsity game, they're bringing back state champions from all eras here at St. Mary's Central Catholic, and we get a chance to talk with one of them here, Phil Bickley, a member of the 1980 state championship team, 28-0, brought home the hardware. You obviously spent a lot of hours practicing and playing in the den. What were your first thoughts when you peeked in there and got a chance to look at what they've done here with the remodel?
Man, what a fabulous facility it looks like. The scoreboard, new paint job, new floor, just amazing. Real good.
And a lot of changes here at the high school over the years. One of the cool ones is they set up the hallway outside the principal's office. It's now kind of a walk of fame for the members of the Hall of Fame, and they've got a screen in there, and on a loop is you guys winning that state championship. What's that like, kind of watching it all these years later?
I had more hair back then. Especially seeing some of the old inductees that I remember when I was a kid playing, and then watching us play. Boy, we were a lot skinnier and a lot more hair, and boy, socks were a lot higher on the knees, so it's fabulous. It's real nice.
Well, as I mentioned, state championship year, you guys were 28-0. What were some of your favorite memories from that run?
Probably the tournament time. Obviously, the regional final and the state final. Well, the whole state experience. That's second to none. That was just fabulous. 13,000 people at old St. John's Arena. We played at the old Canton Fieldhouse, so places that as a kid you really wanted to play at, and you watched them on TV, and then you were there. That was pretty awesome.
Well, we want to thank you for spending a couple minutes with us, and that's Phil Bickley, member of the 1980 state championship team here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic as we get ready for the dedication of the KINZEL Center, and now we get a chance to talk with the people who are kind of responsible for tonight, Dick and Judy KINZEL. And first off, as a St. Mary alum, I graduated in 1996. I want to say thank you for all your generosity, but you see the party they put on here for the whole thing at the school. What's that kind of like to see the party and go in and see the gym and see everything you guys work towards come to fruition?
It's been a very rewarding event that we've had. We started working with Father almost a year ago, and this is finished phase 3. We still have phase 4 to do, but we're really pleased with the way it looks. And Father and then the team over here at St. Mary's have done a great job of coordinating everything, and we think everyone will be pleased with it.
Well, and we all know that the females are the ones who have the eyes for the decorations and the remodeling. So what do you think of everything that's transpired so far?
I couldn't be happier. I think it looks great. It's just a fresh new look and, top shelf. So I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
And what is it about St. Mary's Central Catholic and Sandusky Central Catholic Schools that kind of drawn you guys to this kind of generosity and be a part of the community?
Well, it's a parochial school. It's driven by private funds, and our children, when we got transferred back here to Sandusky in '86, why our children went here. We got attached to the school, and we have 2 of the children have graduated from here, and our grandchildren go here. And when Judy and I, after I retired, we were looking for some way of sort of helping the community out, and we felt that St. Mary's was the best place to go. And it needs funds, and we're strong believers in parochial education. And not that there's anything wrong with public education, but we felt that this was the best way to direct any extra money that we might have would be towards this project.
And obviously probably a sense of pride knowing that your grandkids for the rest of their school year, when they have sporting events or plays or whatever they use the KINZEL Center for, going to be taking place in a facility that has their name on it.
Well, actually, their last name is Bowles, but yes, they're very proud and they're very pleased, and I think they're really happy. And even for years to come, maybe their children will come here. So.
And we have two cheerleaders tonight, one a senior and one a freshman that'll be the cheerleaders for the inaugural game here tonight. So we're very pleased with that.
Well, and you look at some of the events that they put together for this. Obviously, there's a party going on behind the camera. They've got food, a number of alumni here. Kind of a cool thing at halftime. They're bringing back former state champions from the school as well. So you look at the total event that's been put together. This is a great event for St. Mary's Central Catholic and anyone involved in the community.
Well, we hope so. It's a great school, great organization, and it not only contributes a lot to Sandusky, but also to all of Erie County. So we're very pleased to be part of it.
Well, we want to thank you guys for taking a couple minutes to talk to us, and we'll let you get back. I know you're the the center of the party here. A lot of people want to talk to you, but that's Dick and Judy KINZEL here at the dedication of the KINZEL Center at St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic High School as we get ready for the dedication of the KINZEL Center. And one of the cool things they're doing here is a part of it, halftime, they brought back a bunch of state champions, former athletes here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. We have a chance to talk with one now. Corey Upfer, a wrestling state champion, individual champion. You were a member of 4 team championships. Obviously, you spent a lot of hours in the wrestling room, a lot of hours in the den, but what's your first thoughts when you walk into the den and see what it looks like today compared to what it was when you graduated?
It's quite a big difference. They put a lot of time into it, and it's amazing what the difference is from what it used to be when we were in school. It's great seeing everyone come back and support the cause, and everyone be here, get together, and see old faces, and it's really cool to see where the direction the school's going. So very happy with it.
And obviously, St. Mary Wrestling, you were a part of one of the strongest traditions in the entire area, that run that the wrestling program went on, and you were there for 4 team titles, obviously very competitive in the SBC, but amongst yourselves. What was that time kind of like?
It was great. It's nice seeing some of the guys that I wrestled with throughout those 4 years, and a lot of the teams, guys that were on those state titles are here. There was a lot of great memories that I still carry with me today. We still talking with some of the guys now, talking about old times. It takes you right back to 10 years ago. So it's cool seeing all the old faces, and it's nice that they bring everyone back to and dedicate this day to them. So.
Well, and now your brother is head wrestling coach here at St. Mary's Central Catholic, and so as head coach that he is now, what would be some of the advice that you got from your coach, Coach Roth, back in the day that you would give to him to give to the kids?
Well, I'm actually fortunate enough to be able to help him out actually the last 2 years with coaching, and we got a pretty solid team, and we try and teach the same lessons to these kids as we were taught when we were in school. Just have fun, try hard, and you got to want to be there. So we got a solid team this year, a lot of good kids that want to be there, and looking forward to. We just started the season, so looking forward to a good year this year.
Well, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us here, and we'll let you get back to the festivities. That's St. Mary's Central Catholic State Wrestling Champion Corey Upfer here at the dedication for the KINZEL Center. Welcome to St. Mary's Central Catholic on a big night as we get ready for the dedication of the KINZEL Center, and a great party going on here. Another cool thing they're doing at halftime of the basketball game as the basketball team gets ready to take on New Riegel. They're going to bring back and honor former state champion athletes from St. Mary's Central Catholic, and we're lucky enough to have a couple wrestling state champions here with us, and they just happen to be brothers. And older brother Connor Whalen actually graduated with me, so I take a lot of credit for your success. I feel like I was your mentor.
You were, in a way.
And his brother Joseph Whalen as well. Now, one state champion apiece, but fellas, who was the better wrestler? Tell us honestly.
I'm pretty sure it was me, but Joseph probably had a little more accolades in high school.
I would say me.
Well, there you go. That's what I like. The brother rivalry continues. Now, Connor, you were a member of the first ever team championship here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. A lot of people think of wrestling as an individual sport, and it is to an extent, but to have that many good individuals that your team can win a state championship, what was that kind of like?
Well, I mean, it takes a good wrestling environment for the team to reach where they were. Individuals don't get where they need to be without each other.
And Joseph, you obviously spent a lot of time down in the wrestling room, up in the den. What are your first thoughts when you walk in and see what the den looks like today compared to what it was when you were in high school?
I think the first thing I said to Connor was, I wish we had this when I was here. It's pretty phenomenal. Every little detail is just a huge change, and all for the better from back when I was there and when he was there.
Yeah, we went to school way back in the 90s, and they have a lot of things that we wouldn't have even dreamed of now. I was walking around in there. They've got the loft up there, kind of a luxury suite in the den. Can you imagine what kind of trouble we could have caused with something like that?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have, because I was pretty good at staying out of trouble, but I'm sure that you probably would have, Mike.
Well, obviously, you come back to a night like this, you're still drawn to the school, you're still you still have fond memories. What were some of your favorite memories of your high school days here at St. Mary's?
Well, I mean, a lot of them were wrestling, but classes too. I mean, it was just fun running around here. We had a good group of guys that were here, a good group of kids that were here when I went to school, so it was fun.
I was just all the sports I was in. It was great. The environment, all the way down to the pep rallies, watching the whole school go crazy, sending us off to state or whatever it may be. It was great.
Well, we want to thank you guys for spending a couple minutes with us. There's a couple of the former wrestling state champions here, Connor and Joseph Whalen, at the dedication of the KINZEL Center here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. Welcome to St. Mary's Central Catholic High School on a huge night as they dedicate the KINZEL Center and a varsity basketball game going on. At halftime of the varsity basketball game, they're going to be honoring some of the past state champions as well, and we're lucky enough to have one of them with us and the architect of what turned out to be quite the dynasty here at St. Mary's Central Catholic Wrestling. We've got Keith Capizzi and Jude Roth, and now Keith, you and I were in school together, so I remember it well. He's state champion at 189, and you went through a very tough SBC. What are some of your memories as that run as you went towards a state championship?
Well, speaking of the SBC, it was the toughest conferences at that time. Really the pinnacle of wrestling around the area, and it really got me prepared for what was to come, which is the state run. So I thought it was a good challenge, and my big rival was James McKinney, and we ended up splitting that season 1-1, and he ended up getting state runner-up at Division II. So that SBC was a big-time wrestling conference at that time.
Well, and you talk about your rival there, James. You guys actually wrestled. We're on the mat at the state championship at the same time, almost right next to each other. So that's kind of a cool way to end the season. You split, and you're both there wrestling for a title at the same time.
Yeah. It was an amazing experience. I remember getting off the mat and catching the rest of his match, which he lost. But it was neat to watch a fellow conference opponent wrestle in the championship.
And Jude, you of course were the coach during what was a tremendous run. There's very few coaches in any sport in the state of Ohio who's kind of seen that kind of success, and obviously it starts with coaching and dedication from the kids as well, and starting at an early level. You guys started off with the PAW program that really led to great varsity wrestling, and what was it kind of like during those years with you and your fellow coaches bringing these guys along?
Well, I'd first like to say that Mark Heemstra had a lot to do with the success here with wrestling. He was my assistant coach all the way along, and he really related to the kids well. And I'm sure Keith will agree that the relationship that he had with the kids was very helpful for everyone. And the PAW program, the PAW Club, started in, I believe it was 1986, and it was probably one of the first clubs around for the youth kids. And back then we had over 100 kids in the club, and it just kind of was the beginning of everything to come, and it really was a great and amazing ride we had.
Well, and there were changes at the school while you were here as well. It went from being a locker commons where the upperclassmen beat on underclassmen to a wrestling room. How much did that help to kind of expand the weight room and build that wrestling room so you guys kind of had a space of your own?
Yeah, we were very fortunate over the years from where it was and where it is now, not just with wrestling, but what Mr. Kinzel's been able to do with this gym is just, in the surrounding area, is just amazing. It's almost like a college atmosphere when you come in. But back when we first started wrestling, we were on a stage. Actually, we were in the locker commons back then. Then we went to the stage. Then we went back to the locker commons and expanded it, and took the lockers out and just kept expanding and improving that area.
Well, obviously you both spent a lot of time in the den in your years here coaching as a student. What were your first reactions when you walk in and you see the differences now?
It's amazing. It looks so much bigger than what I remember. I mean, the paint job, the plaques. I mean, it's professional. It's top notch, and it's great looking. It looks so much bigger than I remember, but. And that's sort of hard to believe because when you're younger, everything looks so much bigger than what it really is. But to come back as an adult and look at it fresh and new and have it even be bigger than what you remember it, that's an accomplishment. It's quite a feat. It's beautiful. I really believe.
Well, we want to thank you guys for spending a couple minutes with us, and we'll let you get back
No
to the
problem.
party. But that's former wrestling head coach Jude Roth and a state champion at 189 pounds, Keith Capizzi, here at the grand opening of the KINZEL Center at St. Mary's Central Catholic. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic. Tonight's a big night. It's the dedication of the KINZEL Center, and a great list of events set up for this. And one of the cool events at halftime, they're bringing back some of the former athletes, some of the state champions from St. Mary's Central Catholic. And now we have the chance to talk with one of the best swimmers that's ever come from this area, really. Michael Gallagher swam here at St. Mary's Central Catholic. So you didn't necessarily compete in your sport in the den per se, but what were your first thoughts when you walked in and you see it now compared to what it was like when you were in high school?
Drastically different. It's awesome to see that, this school is still making changes every day. Remodeling the gym. Things outside the gym too. It's awesome to see that, coming from Ohio State where they're doing the same thing every day, and to see my small Catholic high school doing the same things as a major D1 university is just incredible.
Yeah, you're wearing the scarlet and gray tie. You have to represent. But what was it like going through as a swimmer? And of course, your mom, the head coach of the swim team. What's that kind of like? Add a little bit of extra pressure to you, maybe?
Definitely. People. She's a good head coach. She's pretty fierce, but we got into it a lot. I wouldn't disagree, or I would disagree with, some of the workouts she had, and she wouldn't like how I did, and we would just get mad at each other and wouldn't talk to each other. So, it's definitely, the dynamic was definitely different there, as opposed to other people who, weren't her son. They would kind of shake their head and do what they were told, whereas maybe I wouldn't as much. But, it was definitely different. But, as you said, yeah, it might have added a little pressure just because, it was a little more personal. The fact that, my mom, yes, was a swim coach, and, she was coaching me, and, I wanted to do well for me, but, do well for her too. So,
what are some of your favorite memories looking back at your time at St. Mary?
Some of my favorite memories, I would probably have to say, definitely state was definitely one of them. It was really cool my junior and senior year when we actually brought relays. Because my sophomore year, the first time I went by myself, and that was kind of boring. I didn't really know anyone. I was kind of the young gun, I guess you could say. But the 2 years after, it was great bringing teammates down. The people you trained all year with. And for them to take in the experience as well, and for us to make 2 relays to finals, like that was such a great experience. I'd definitely say.
Well, I want to thank you for spending a couple minutes with us. We'll let you get back to the party, but that's Michael Gallagher, not only one of the best swimmers here at St. Mary's Central Catholic, but one of the best to come out of the area. And thanks for joining us here at the dedication of the KINZEL Center. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. We're back here again tonight, the big dedication for the KINZEL Center. And as we've been talking about, one of the cool things they did, halftime of the varsity basketball game, they brought back state champions, all the state champions who could make it from different eras, and we're lucky enough to have another one with us here. This is Father Jeremy Miller, who was a state tennis champion, and we've talked to a lot of guys who were team sport champions and individual sport champions. Tennis, obviously, individual sport. So what's that like going through the training process towards a state championship where you have teammates that you train with, but when you're out there, only you to count on, really?
Right. Yeah, you're kind of all alone out there. So it's kind of a different dynamic than team sports. But I started playing when I was 8, and I grew very accustomed to that dynamic. And so I trained very hard. My dad and I traveled a lot all over the country, playing different tournaments. And so it has a team dimension. In fact, the year I won state individually, our team made it to the Final Four. There was a team tennis championship as well. We placed 4th that year in state. But yeah, when you're out there, you're kind of out there alone. I was privileged. My dad was the head coach, and so he was allowed to be on the court with me, coaching me during the state championship. So that was kind of a unique experience as well.
Well, we pulled you out of the basketball game to do these interviews, and you've got your younger brothers are out there on the basketball team. What's that like now, watching your family come through the same school that you went through and compete in sports?
I love it. They didn't really take a liking to tennis, but that's fine because I love basketball. So the fact that they play basketball is wonderful, and I get to catch as many games as possible. I'm stationed in Mansfield at St. Peter's, so I don't get to see a ton of their games, but when I do, I really enjoy it.
Well, obviously lots of changes here since you went to school at St. Mary. You just walk into the den and it's a completely different looking place, and still more coming with the KINZEL Center. But what are your initial reactions to how much it's changed?
Oh, it's I actually came back for a little thing a couple weeks ago and got to see it and get a tour with Father Mike, and I just walked in and it's a different building. I mean, it's unbelievable. So partly I'm jealous that I wasn't here when it happened, but I'm grateful. My brothers get to experience it, and as an alum, you're proud of your school when it's growing. So, certainly the KINZELs have been very generous with that. So it's wonderful for the school.
Well, we'll let you get back to the game, but
Okay,
thanks
good.
for spending a couple
All right.
minutes with us. There's another state champion here at the KINZEL Center dedication at St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. Welcome into St. Mary's Central Catholic High School. A big night here as they dedicated the KINZEL Center, and at halftime of the varsity basketball game, a cool thing they did, they brought back state champions from many different eras, teams and individuals, and we're lucky here to be talking with an individual who won multiple state champions in track in multiple events. Beth Hubens, back then she was Beth Wire, and Beth I know pretty well. We were in high school together. She was a year below me, so you're much, much younger than me. But what's it, obviously KINZEL Center, the Den, much different than when we were in high school. What were your first impressions when you saw it?
Just wow. It's just amazing how much it's changed. And, walking in, there's a little twinge of jealousy seeing how nice everything is, and just the improvements that they made to it. And, I think it's great to create excitement for the school and future students, and really gives them something to look forward to and a reason to come to St. Mary's.
Well, you graduated in 1997,
Correct.
which not that many years ago. 96 when I graduated was eons ago. But what were some of your favorite memories when you were going through the halls of St. Mary?
Just the friendships that we had, and obviously sports, team sports, volleyball, basketball, but of course track and field. I created a lot of unique memories that not a lot of people get to experience, and so to do that with my friends and my family, it meant a lot.
Well, and as you were going through track, you got to be coached by Joe Lamb, who won a state championship himself. What was beneficial about that, some of the wisdom that he was able to impart?
It's a lot different when you're talking to someone who's been there. You know that they know what they're talking about, and just to be able to have some of that experience with you. I know now coaching, I relate a lot of my experiences to my athletes, and so for me at that time it was invaluable. And he was a great coach. He knew a lot about what he was talking about, obviously, and it was just a fun time, and I was very fortunate and lucky to have him as a coach.
Well, and you were telling me before we went on the air with this interview that you're a teacher now in the Danbury School District. What are some of the things you learned as a student that you've applied to your career as a teacher?
One of the things that my family always instilled in us was just the value of hard work and being dedicated to what you're doing and being a team player. And, even in a sport like track where it's individualized, there's still that team aspect of it. And so I try to instill that into my students that I'm working with on a daily basis. And, obviously in coaching and athletics, you want to see those things from your players. And so that's pretty much the basis that I've used with my students and athletes. And, there is no replacement for hard work and dedication.
Well, we want to thank you for spending a couple minutes with us, and we'll let you get back to the game. And that's Beth Wire, multiple-time state champion here at St. Mary's Central Catholic on the night of the KINZEL dedication.